This painting made grown men cry in 1834. And it's about to wreck you too. A 16-year-old girl, blindfolded, fumbling in the dark, for the block that's gonna take her head off. She was Queen of England for exactly 9 days. Before they decided she had to die, and get this, the painting vanished for 50 years, and nobody even noticed it was gone. By the end of this video, you're gonna see things in this image that 99% of people completely miss. But first, you gotta understand something important: who Lady Jane Grey actually was. She was the great-granddaughter of Henry VII, which basically made her a walking target from birth. In 1553, King Edward VI was dying at 15, and powerful men saw their chance. One guy in particular, John Dudley, her father-in-law, he decided to use her as a puppet. They shoved her onto the throne, not because she wanted it, but because she was Protestant and easy to control. Here's the messed up part about all this. She literally begged them not to make her queen, but nobody gave a damn what a teenage girl wanted. And honestly, some things never change. 9 days later, Mary Tudor showed up with an army, and Jane's so-called supporters ghosted her completely. John Dudley, the same guy who put her on the throne, switched sides in 3 days and left her to die. Just like that, she went from Queen of England to prisoner in the Tower of London. On February 12th, 1554, she was executed. At 16 or 17, younger than most high school seniors. Now, fast forward 280 years to 1833. When a French painter named Paul Delaroche made a decision, he wasn't gonna paint her coronation or her trial. He wanted the exact moment before the axe fell. And the way he pulled it off is brilliant and absolutely gut-wrenching at the same time. Right in the center, there's Jane in white satin, a blindingly white dress, completely blindfolded. Her hands are reaching out, searching for the block, and she literally cannot find it. According to historical records, her actual last words were asking for help. Think about that for a second. She said, quote, "What shall I do? Where is the block?" A teenage girl, blindfolded, completely lost. And here's the detail that's gonna haunt you. There's one guy helping her find it. Sir John Bridges, the lieutenant of the tower, is gently guiding her hands toward the block. Like, here, let me help you find the thing. That's about to end your life. That's cold, man. Now, check out the two ladies in waiting on the left. They're absolutely wrecked by what's happening. One of them has collapsed onto the floor, clutching Jane's dress, head pressed against the stone column. The other one's turned completely away from the scene, face buried in her arms. She can't even look. But here's something most people totally miss. Both of their necks are highlighted by the light. Delaroche is low-key foreshadowing what's about to happen, making you hyper-aware of necks in this scene. Once you see it, you literally cannot unsee it. It's subtle, but it's definitely there. Then there's the executioner standing to the right, and this guy tells a whole story by himself. In Delaroche's early 1832 sketches, check this out. He drew the executioner as this big, brutal figure. The dude was stockier, holding a massive broadsword, like some kind of medieval villain. But in the final version, something changed completely. His posture softened. His expression became almost sad. Delaroche realized this guy isn't the monster here. He's just doing his job. That's it. The real monsters are the people who put a teenager in this position in the first place. Now let's talk color, because Delaroche went insane. Absolutely insane with the symbolism here. The background is almost completely black. Serious darkness covering most of the canvas. The platform cloth is black. One lady's dress is black. The executioner's sleeves are black too. And then boom, right in the middle, there's Jane in this pure, radiant white dress. The contrast is insane and totally intentional. She's the light being swallowed by darkness. That white dress represents her innocence and purity, and her complete lack of guilt in all this mess. She didn't want to be queen. She didn't scheme for power. She was just a kid caught in a political game. Speaking of details you probably missed, check this out. Look at the floor around the execution block. See that golden-colored stuff? That's straw, laid down for one specific gruesome purpose. It was there to soak up the blood. Delaroche included this to make it painfully real. Nothing stands between you and what's about to happen. No barrier, no comfort, no escape. And here's another layer you need to see. The color of the straw matches Jane's reddish gold hair. It's like her life force is already draining down into the ground before the axe even falls. There are only 3 warm colors in this entire painting, and each one hits completely different. The brown dress of one lady in waiting, the orange fur collar on the lieutenant's coat, and get this, the executioner's pants are blood red, like a preview of what's coming in seconds. Every single color choice was calculated to mess with your emotions, and it works perfectly. Now here's something that really gets me. Delaroche straight up lied about the location. Those thick Norman columns with the chevron arch, they're from the White Tower, the oldest part of the fortress. But the execution actually happened outside, at Tower Green. In broad daylight, not in some dark dungeon. Delaroche deliberately moved it inside and made it dark, to crank up the psychological weight. He wasn't painting history, he was designing trauma, thinking like a stage director, not a historian. This painting was basically engineered like a play, and 1800s audiences absolutely ate it up. Back then, they had these things called panoramas and dioramas. Basically, early immersive experiences for people. Giant paintings that surrounded you, rotating displays, with crazy light effects, real theatrical stuff. Delaroche knew exactly what his audience wanted, and he gave them a front row seat to tragedy. When this painting debuted at the Paris Salon in 1834, people literally crowded around it in massive groups. It became more popular than paintings by legendary artists, like Ingres, that was absolutely unheard of. But wait, why would a French painter even care this much about British history? In the 1820s and 1830s, French people were obsessed with English culture, total Anglophilia vibes. But there's a deeper reason that hits way harder. Once you know it, everything makes sense. French viewers looked at this painting and saw themselves. Specifically, they saw Marie Antoinette. Both were young women caught up in political schemes, beyond their control, and both lost their heads for it. Marie Antoinette faced the guillotine in 1793, just 40 years before this painting was made. For French audiences, this wasn't ancient history. It was a mirror reflecting their own bloody past. Delaroche was using British history to comment on France's recent trauma. Pretty slick move, honestly. All right, now here's where the story gets absolutely wild. Buckle up for this part. In 1928, the Thames River flooded London badly, and the Tate Gallery got completely wrecked. Water damaged tons of artwork in the chaos. People assumed this masterpiece was destroyed forever. For nearly 50 years, art historians mourned it. One of the great tragedies of art preservation, they said. Then in 1973, a curator named Christopher Johnstone was digging through damaged canvases looking for something else. He was searching for a completely different painting by John Martin that was also thought lost. And guess what he found rolled up inside the Delaroche? The Martin piece he was actually looking for. 2 lost masterpieces hidden inside each other. For half a century, you can't make this stuff up. The Delaroche was in way better condition than expected. After decades just sitting in storage, they restored it, moved it to the National Gallery, and now it's one of the most visited paintings there. From forgotten flood victim to must-see attraction. Talk about a comeback story. But there's one more detail I need you to see. Before we wrap up, look closely at Jane's left hand. There's a simple wedding band on her finger. Nothing fancy, just a plain gold ring. Jane was married to Lord Guildford Dudley, another teenager forced into a political arrangement. He was executed the same day as Jane. Just hours before her, imagine that. That little ring is a gut punch because it reminds you she had a whole life ahead. Marriage, maybe kids someday, a future. All of it erased because powerful men wanted to play chess. So why does this painting still hit this hard? Almost 200 years after it was created, because the story of Lady Jane Grey is is timeless. Unfortunately timeless. That's the brutal truth. Young people being sacrificed for political games, innocence being destroyed by corruption sound familiar. Delaroche captured something universal here, the absolute helplessness of being caught in forces beyond control. That reaching hand, searching blindly for the block, is basically a metaphor for all of us at some point. If you ever make it to the National Gallery in London, go see this painting in person. It's massive. The life-sized figures make you feel like you're there, actually standing there, watching this tragedy unfold. And now that you know all these hidden details, you're gonna see so much more than the average visitor. She was 16, she said, "Where is the block?" And then she was gone. That's the whole story. If you made it this far, drop a comment telling me which painting should I break down next. Hit that subscribe button if you want more deep dives. Like this, I'll catch you in the next one.